Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to another Occasionally Skate video with me, Dave. Today I'm taking the polar deck that I was skating recently and I'm turning it into a cruiser. Way back in 2017 I ordered a set of these Avenue suspension trucks. I did ride them around for a little while, but they've mostly just been sat on the shelf. Now they've got these funky base plates. These curve around and act as a leaf spring, giving you a bit of suspension to travel while you're riding along. They're really honestly comfortable to ride. They look pretty damn cool. Basically like a normal skate truck from most angles, but a little bit different from the side. You can sometimes end up getting a little bit of extra wheel bite with these. So I'm going to do something I don't do often and use riser pads with these big long bolts to make sure I reach all the way through them. Now the front riser pad is actually a little bit different, it's angled. You get these sometimes on a longboard. What this does is move your kingpin angle and hopefully give you a little bit more steering angle while you're riding down the road. So I'm going to put the angled riser on the front, flat risers on the back, and hopefully this combined with the wheel wells should give me plenty of clearance. Now I found these wheels inside my toolbox which have some better Bronson bearings in than these dirty old rusty things that are in here right now. Well, that's what they sound like. So I've taken them out and thrown them in a bin, putting these Bronson ones in, which are much better. Plus they're orange, which matches the orange wheels and all the orange bits on the orange deck to make my very orange cruiser. So that's one cruiser board with suspension trucks set up, ready to go, super bouncy. And another reason why I want this ground clearance is because I'm planning on taking this thing a little bit of off-roading. So the first test I'm going to do is going to be some of my standard flat ground tricks, direct comparison from a regular board. So I just did a couple of Casper heel flips to get my legs warmed up. Eventually I landed one that was a bit better. There you go. Not a bad Casper heel flip, although it was only about 3 inches off the ground. But hey ho. Right, so direct comparison time. Now bear in mind that most of these tricks are first try, I didn't bother going back to clean them up, but some of them, like this one, are not first try. This is one of my most consistent tricks on my normal board, but it was really quite difficult with these big wheels and suspension trucks. Half cabs, fine, both boards. Fake front shove, absolutely fine, both boards first try. Frontside 180, I thought this was going to be difficult because the fakey one was, but no. Back 180, now this was super difficult on this board. In the end, I just took it. It was kind of it, kind of not it. Kickflip, real sketchy. Tried to catch it primo, but I got another one slightly cleaner, but still rocket. And a little 3 shove thrown in for good measure. So I got one of them on that board, but unfortunately out of shot. And then I tried to do the kickflip. This was really challenging. It was really unpredictable as to where the board was going to go. Really hard not to make it rocket flip. In the end I got this sloppy one, but it was probably about as good as it was going to get. I did try and clean it up, but I caught primo and then pretty much slammed. So that gave me a dead leg for a few minutes and I was unable to skate. I was absolutely fine, didn't hit my face or anything, just gave myself a bit of a dead leg. So I went and sat down for 10 minutes and then I moved on to part 2 of my test. Oh, terrain! So I was hoping with these 60mm penny board style wheels and with the suspension trucks that it would be good for riding over these dirt and pebbles. And do you know what? It was great for riding over the dirt and pebbles. This thing honestly felt more at home out here than it did on the tarmac in the skate park. Really good fun. So you can see here the suspension doing its thing. Honestly, the main thing is though, this was just a blast. And then I decided to do a manual across the top of the mound here. Scraped a couple of times, but eventually I got a clean one. Main takeaway from this whole session though, really, is just how much fun this was. So that was a really fun test. I got a good impression of how this board feels compared with my normal setup, and I had a lot of fun skating it on the dirt. All in all, this thing rides really well off-road. These suspension trucks really do their job when you're going over the bumps. But I'm going to introduce you to my new 5-category testing system. Category 1, style. Have a look at the board. How does it look? Does it look cool? Do you like it? Is it a nice shape? Is it a nice graphic? Does it look like something you'd want to ride? Second test, control or comfort. This is just a case of how does the board feel when you're riding around. Do you feel comfortable on it? Do you feel in control? Or do you feel like it's going to try and kill you at any moment? Category 3, A, agility. How easy is it to get the board to flip? How easy is it to get it to spin? Category 4, it's going to be T for trust. This is about how confident you feel sticking a trick, putting your feet back on there. Do you feel like if you commit, you're going to hurt yourself? Or do you feel like you can land every trick you've ever learned? And finally, category number 5, E, endurance. How long do you think this board's going to last? Does it feel well built? Do the components feel high quality? So then you're going to get an overall skate rating. Now this is to test a whole setup, so we're taking into account deck, trucks, wheels, bearings, everything. Also, a lot of this is subjective. So on my future tests, I'm going to try, when I can, find 2 or 3 other skateboarders that are going to try these setups out, give me their skate ratings, and we're going to average the lot. Right now, I'm going to give you skate rating for this all-terrain polar skate setup. So for style, I'm going to say this board looks cool. It's funky, it's different, it's not going to be my everyday setup, but for what it is, I like it. I think it looks awesome. But is it perfect? No. I love the overall look of this board. Not a huge fan of the shape of the deck. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Comfort and control. In the skate park, where it's super smooth, this board honestly doesn't feel good. But if you take it to the streets, trying to cruise, trying to get down a bumpy street, trying to cruise over some stones and some gravel like I was earlier on, but then you've got yourself a really good skateboard. Average it out. Got a good score for one and a low score for the other. We're going to go 6. Agility. Initializing your trick is not honestly super difficult on this board. I've skated things way worse. I'm going to give it an 8. The next category though, trust. This is where it all falls down. As easy as it is to get this board to flip or spin, it's terrifying to try and land back on it. You just don't quite know what's going to happen. However, again, taking it to the dirt, this thing feels great, it feels stable. So I'm going to go for a 6 again on that, just to average it out between the two. And finally, we're on to endurance. How well built does this thing feel? How do you think it's going to last? Well, the deck itself is really good, really high quality, no complaints there at all. This is going to last as long as any skateboard deck out there. The trucks though, I know for a fact that these are not the most hard-wearing trucks. My friend Jack has broken a hanger on one of these before. I've bent a kingpin on one of them before. So potentially this setup isn't going to last forever. But if I'm just cruising around on it and not doing anything too serious, I would have thought it's going to last as long as I need it to. So overall, I'm going to give it an 8 for endurance. So to quickly recap, that gives this polar cruiser board setup ratings of 7, 6, 8, 6 and 8. Now if we add them all together, that gives us 35. We'll average that out between 5, so that means 7 points. So overall, that means that this polar all-terrain cruiser board setup is getting a skate rating of 7. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was in some way informative for you, especially if you're planning on going out and making yourself a little bit of an all-terrain sort of skateboard. I'll be back in the next couple of days, so subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Hit that like button, drop me a comment down below. Tell me what you think I should do next. Go get outside if you can, and just remember, occasionally skate.